steps I take from my bed to the floor. 5, 6, 7, 8. Will today be rough or will today be great? 9, 10, 11, 12. Lately I've been going through hell. 13, 14, 15, 16. Today's the day. Are you coming? Are you I'm sick of being normal, I'm sick of being average. I'm sick of being mortal, I'm about to be a savage. I see a lot of things that I want, I will have them. I got a new mindset that I just established. I'll march through the cold with the nails on the pavement. I'll shovel that coal just to get out the basement. My story will be told, helping others make changes. I'll be so bold, they will watch in amazement.
Am I gonna face it? Am I gonna chase it? Am I gonna start or will I keep waiting? Time is limited, quickly fading. Get my mind right, it's my time to take it. Am I gonna face it? Am I gonna chase it? Am I gonna start or will I keep waiting? Time is limited, quickly fading. Get my mind right, it's my time to take it.
Foot up on the pedal, pushing hard to the metal. Make a deal with the devil. Channel rage through my vessel into something that is special. Energy of a rebel, going up a level. I just wanna be greatness. I could feel changes, turn a new page and tie up my laces. I will be the bravest, break out of my cages. I will not be nameless, I will not be aimless.
Am I gonna chase it? Am I gonna start or will I keep waiting? Time is limited, quickly fading. Get my mind right, it's my time to take it. Am I gonna face it? Am I gonna chase it? Am I gonna start or will I keep waiting? Time is limited, quickly fading. Get my mind right, it's my time to take it.
is going on, everybody? What is going on? Welcome back to the Locked In Podcast, episode 241. Got my boy back in the building, my boy Rob. What's up, brother? Thanks for coming on tonight, man.
What's up, Steve? What's going on, everybody? Glad to be here. Here for another great episode, as always.
Yes, sir. The man with the plan, the real estate guy right here. Rob, the real estate guy, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so that's what we're talking about tonight, guys. We're back in the financial, the real estate side of things. I know some people have had questions with these types of things. I'm like, let me bring on somebody who's in that field himself. I know a couple of people that are in it as well, but Rob, he's got some expertise in that as an agent, as an investor, someone that can definitely give you guys, the right direction and guide you in the right areas. You know what I mean? It's a new year. So I think when the new year comes, a lot of times, people have plans of what they want to do in terms of maybe purchasing their first home, securing their first investment property, if that's the route they want to go, or even just renting. And I know we did an episode not too long ago where we were both on, we talked kind of the pros and cons of renting and buying. We'll touch a little bit on that tonight, but not too much, just because we covered that not too long ago. But I know one thing that people ask me, I don't have the expertise behind it. It's about like investment properties, because I think a lot of people they want to get involved, but they don't really know how to, right? A lot of people, and that goes with investing in general. A lot of people don't really know when it comes to like the stock market, when it comes to retirement, how to invest. But for the purpose of this episode tonight, we'll talk about, someone who's a real estate investor himself. We'll talk about what you kind of need to maybe get started, maybe securing that first investment property, if that is the route you're looking to go. So excited to talk about this, man. These money episodes, man, the real estate episodes. I love these, man. These are always good, man. There's always a solid collab.
I love these talks, and I'm very passionate about real estate. I love real estate. I think it's such a great investment. So yeah, when Steve told me about the topic, I was like, yeah, I definitely come on, chop it up. Learn from each other. You can always learn something. So I think it's great. It's a great topic for this episode.
Absolutely. And while Rob's an investor, like I said, he's an agent as well.
Mhm.
So it definitely look to reach out to Rob for maybe any of your needs. He's got his actual, is that your business? That's your business name right there, right? Laventure Real Estate Group and Associates.
So that's my investment business. I invest in real estate with, but also I have my agent business that I have. It's a different LLC. That I help clients buy and sell. Help many clients buy their first investment property. Since I'm an investor myself, I know exactly what to do for them, and I just guide their hand along the way. And they just sit back and relax, and they know they have an expert leading them to buy their first investment. So I have 99% success rate with this. I don't like to say 100%, but all my past clients, you can talk to them. They bought their first investment, loved it, and had a good time during the process, and are enjoying the investment as we speak.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, anytime it comes to like anything, right? Especially like the financial side or real estate side, you want to be able to work with a professional that can make you feel as comfortable as possible in that process. So, especially when it comes to something like purchasing a home, it's a huge investment, arguably your biggest investment you're ever going to make. So, you definitely want somebody that has that expertise and can make you feel comfortable along the way.
Yeah, and I think what's key is to always go with somebody that has done it before. Like you don't want to you don't want to buy an investment with an agent that never did an investment before. And they don't know the ins and outs. It's almost like trying to learn how to drive a car with somebody who never drove the car. So definitely vet people you take advice from. Make sure they've done it. Then so they have some expertise in that.
Literally, experience is everything, because I mean, anybody could research and do the research on things, but until you've actually experienced it, it's like taking parenting advice for somebody who's never had a child, or taking relationship advice for somebody who's never been in a relationship. You know what I mean? It's just
right.
For sure. But so, out of curiosity, I think I've asked you before, where do you specialize out of? Are you PA in New Jersey?
PA. So,
PA.
but I do have a team I can help out in Jersey as well. I'm not licensed in Jersey, but I have a team, so I'm able to, go into Jersey and help clients in Jersey as well.
Okay. Where you go, guys. Contact Rob if you guys have any needs. whether you're, and even if you have questions, it's always good to reach out to somebody, even if you just have questions, reach out to somebody who's in the field, that has that expertise. And I'll always, vouch for Rob. That's my brother, over there. And I know he's very knowledgeable. He does his homework. He knows what he's
Yes,
doing.
sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah, guys. So we will hop into this tonight. I always got to give the little backdrop here. If you're watching on YouTube and you're new to the channel, you're not already subscribed, make sure you click that little subscribe button in the bottom left. Hit that little notification bell to turn those notifications on, because we release content related to personal growth every single week. You don't want to miss it if that is something you're interested in. If you're watching on Facebook, I'm assuming you're already part of the community, so thank you for that. Just like on YouTube, though, hit that like button. Really helps us out with the algorithm, and it pushes that content out to people who are looking to see content like this. So it really helps not only the channel, but it helps other people too who are trying to, gain some type of knowledge and anything related to personal growth. So it really, really helps us out. Facebook or YouTube, if you comment, YouTube, I can throw your comments up on the screen. Facebook, I can just read them out loud due to Meta's privacy concerns with Facebook, but still really appreciate the comments. It gives us good feedback. It allows us to kind of have open dialogue here, which is great. We actually have a couple comments. Now my buddy Mike, he said, "What's up?" And he said, "Welcome, my brother Andrew, to fatherhood." Yeah, our boy Andrew, unrelated to the topic, but our boy Andrew just had a baby girl this Sunday. So congratulations to my brother Andrew, man. Shout out, man. It's first
thing, man. Most important thing, family.
Yep. Build your legacy, man. That's important.
Yes, sir.
That's important, man. So congratulations to him. That's a good shout out, Mike. Nice, man. And yeah, guys, with that being said, sit back, relax, and just enjoy the pod. We will get into it. So there were a couple things I was going to touch on, I guess, with this one tonight. A little bit about the market. I kind of did my research on that, of what the market's looking like. So I guess maybe I'll start with that. The pros and cons part, I'll kind of do at the end, and I'll keep it brief because, like I said, we talked a lot on that. Guys, go back to our prior episodes if you really want to see an in-depth pros and cons list. We go from renting and buying in this current market. But one thing that stands out right now, if we look at like the mortgage, I'm sure you can see, is mortgage rates. They're kind of hovering like lower 6% for the first time in like 3 years. There was a big thing that went on recently. It was I think a $200 billion mortgage bond purchase initiative that went on with the federal government. It's kind of got us at 6%. It's still not those pre-COVID or those right post-COVID rates like 2021. That was, I know a lot of people that bought their first home around that time, and they made out well because the rates were so low. We're still not at that level, but it is the first time in 3 years that they're towards like the lower 6% range. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, but I think that's at least something that's trending. It's a positive trend.
For sure. Yes, he was right. So the average mortgage rate right now is hovering around 6%. The better your credit is, you will get either below or above average. So obviously, when it comes to interest rate, above average is lower than the average, and below average is higher than the average because you pay more with the interest rate. Yep. So yeah, it's hovering around 6%. Like before, it was hovering around 7%. So it has dropped down a little bit. So that's a good sign. During COVID, it was around 2-3%. I don't know if y'all remember. So that was some good times. But then like literally like a year after like the COVID started to slow down a little bit, the market went crazy. Homes are going way over asking because 2-3% was the interest rate, and people were going crazy. So prices went up. And I remember that period because I was sending out offers with my clients, and bro, we were getting beat by 50 grand over asking. It was insane. So I still remember that period, man. I had some good wins during that, and I had some losses that sucked. But yeah, so that was a crazy period. But then after a while, the rates went all the way back up, and we were hovering around 7% because of the inflation for a while. But now things are slowing down a little bit, drop down. And like Steve mentioned, we're around 6%. The better your credit, you probably get around a 5.5, depending on your lender.
Yep, exactly. It's all going to deal with credit. But yeah, it's funny, man. It's like that is how it like works though, right? Like supply and demand. So like when the rates are low, everybody buys up all the properties. Well, guess what? Demand is lower. So now rates go up. Like that's how it is. That's literally economics 101, like supply and demand.
Applies to everything. And supply and demand. But what's crazy is people always say, oh, the rates is kind of high. I'm going to wait till it get lower. But what you don't understand is that when you wait till it gets lower, then more buyers enter the market and it raises the prices and everything.
Right.
So like if you wait till it's 4%, everybody's waiting until it's 4%. And then once it hits 4%, everybody jumps in the market and now the prices shoot up. So
Yeah.
you're still paying more by waiting.
And I'm
So
pretty, and you can refinance with that, right? Like you could always refinance like later on,
right,
like you know what I
right,
mean. So
right.
how I see it is just like take a look at, don't compare your life to other people or look at where other people are at financially. If you feel like you're ready to make the leap for your first home, you feel like you're in a good economic position to do it. I wouldn't
Do
sit
it.
there if a yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. If a rate is your deal breaker, I wouldn't let that be your deal breaker, because guess what?
Hmm.
If you say you wait 2-3 years, that's 2-3 years of equity that you left off the table now because you didn't
Hmm.
decide to go. And now, hey, say rates do drop in those 2-3 years, you could always refinance. You know what I mean?
Right,
No
right. And
strings attached.
you already own the asset, so you don't have to fight other people to get your rate down.
Right.
So yeah, you could always refinance later, like Steve said.
I remember that though, man, when there was like a bidding war for like every house, everybody was getting bidding wars for homes, man.
Insane.
Like people were getting outbid like a bunch over the
60
asking
grand
price.
over asking, 100 grand over asking.
It's crazy,
And that's
man.
what happens when the rate gets so low. Everybody wants to buy, and that drives up prices.
You're not
So,
outsmarting anybody. Everybody's got the same idea. Everybody wants to do the same thing. So you
yeah,
don't really have a jump on anybody.
right.
You
And this is
know?
why Warren Buffett, his quote, I don't know it verbatim, but he was saying like when everybody's active, this is when you sit back. But then when
Yep.
everybody's scared, this is when you move forward.
Yep.
And he's
Yep.
exactly right.
Even during COVID, I had stocks and investments outside of like index funds, like actual just stocks, and like that was the time to buy, man. All these companies' stock was going down. Like I'm like, but everybody starts to panic and pull their money
Yeah,
out. That's the investing 101. That's the worst thing to do. Don't do that. You don't panic when
ride
that
the
money
wave.
drops. Like,
Hmm.
yo,
Ride the wave and start buying some more.
exactly, because you know it's gonna go up. Any of the stock that I paid into that would drop drastically, it all went back up. So it's like,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? I mean, unless a company goes bankrupt or something, but I'm like, if you don't panic when it drops, you know what I mean? Especially if you're young, like you're not retiring right now. Like it's like you got time to just sit this out. Like you don't have to go sit there and run. And that's the thing. If you're around our age, you're in your 30s, early 30s, you got plenty of time. You're not over here at 60 something years old getting ready to retire and like
Hmm.
panicking that you're gonna lose all your money. So you ride that wave, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So
And as long as you do the work up front and you pick in solid companies, I know we talk about this is stocks, it's kind of on
yeah,
topic, but I'm not an expert in stocks. But all I know is like you pick solid companies, ride the wave. They're gonna rebound back. So
exactly. You pick like safe companies, like I mean banks and like all these other ones. Like they're not like literally like the companies that have been around for a ton of time. Just look at the reputation, look at the trajectory, look how long they've been around and established. You know what I mean? Established companies. Yeah. It's like we'll get into real estate investing too. It's like I know me and you had talked about this before. You do the legwork up front. You
yeah,
do all the calculations up front. You calculate
yep,
for risk and for all different types of things that could go wrong. And
yes,
you do that legwork up front.
yeah. In real estate, especially when it comes to investing, you make the money going into the deal. If you
Yeah.
don't make money going into the deal, you bought the wrong deal. So you got to make money going. And what I love about real estate, you can make the deal work by adjusting the numbers, doing your homework up front, knowing your margins, and then you can make the deal work. That's what I love about it. So, um, like we were saying, you gotta make your money going in. If you don't make your money going in, you already have a bad deal.
Yeah. It's not something worth moving forward with if you're not making that money going in. Yep.
Hmm.
It's because yeah, it's like anything. It's a calculated risk. You go in, but that's what you want it to be, a calculated risk. I mean, you were talking about that too. It's like, yeah, risk is important to make wealth, right? But you got to make sure it's a calculated risk. You don't want to just go taking risks that like you have no type of like actual approach to what you're doing. It's just, oh, I'm just gonna gamble, because at that point, it's not even a risk. It's more of a you're just gambling, like,
Right.
you
Right. And there's levels to it. Depending on who
yeah,
you are as a person, how much risk you can take.
Your risk
There's
tolerance.
levels to it. Yeah, your risk tolerance. That's important in real estate as well. How much risk you can take, how much risk you can handle. Because it can be a very capital intensive investment, and it does come with risk, quite a bit of risk. So you could lose quite a bit of money in this game. You could lose your hat. So
Yeah.
definitely, I would definitely recommend educating yourself, getting a mentor or getting somebody that done it before you, and then get them to, teach you their mistakes, get them to show you the ropes before jumping into something like this. When it comes to the investment side of real estate, not buying a home, but more on the investment side.
Yep. Yeah. That's important. Yeah, I think there's nothing that beats like actually being able to find an actual in-person mentor, somebody you can actually talk to and be able to have that conversation. Because there's a lot of information out there, like on YouTube and the internet, which I mean is great. There's a lot of informative content, but I just think being able to have somebody personally that you can like actually
Hmm.
talk to and ask questions
Hmm.
to, there's nothing that beats that. You know what I mean? Especially
Hmm.
if you see if they're successful in a certain area, right? I always say when you pick your mentor, it needs to be somebody that you would want to switch lives with, right? You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, hey,
Hmm.
that's what I aspire to be like. Because if that's not who your mentor is, then you've probably got the wrong mentor. Is if it's not somebody that you would trade lives with, you know.
Right, for sure.
So yeah, man. So I guess we can dive into the investment side of it, man. We were just talking a little bit of it, like doing the legwork up front and stuff. What are some of the key things that you would say, like I don't when you were like going through like I guess your first investment property ever, like some of the things that like you needed to have like maybe going into that deal to secure that first property.
So my first deal was unique. My first deal actually was a full gut rehab, which I do not recommend. People do. I recommend you buy something that's turnkey, like ready to go, and you buy it, and you already have some equity in it, and you don't have to do much construction work. So my first deal was a full gut rehab. So I went into there having to break all the walls down to the studs and then basically build the duplex back up. So that's my first deal. I don't recommend that. When I look back, probably shouldn't have took that route. Made some mistakes with the construction rehab. Like I read some books on construction and watched videos, but like Steve was saying, there's nothing like in-person experience.
Yep.
While that deal went well at the end of the day, but it could have went better if I had some experience and some mentors and leadership in that. But my first deal, the first thing was, so it was a duplex and I actually house hacked it. We bought the deal low at a low price, rehabbed it, and then refinanced out. When we after we rehabbed it, got the property to functional level. We rented the bottom, and I lived on the top. So my
Oh,
first deal was actually a house hack. It was a duplex that we bought, rehabbed it, gut down to the studs, and then brought it up to a modern look. And then instantly, as soon as we finished everything, it was rented instantly. It was a Northeast Philadelphia, great location, rented instantly. And then when I refinanced out, I pulled a lot of money out of the deal. So basically, the money I put in, I got most of it out when I refinanced it. And now I had a new debt on the property, but the tenant was paying the debt.
right.
So, and I'm living upstairs. So I'm basically almost living for free. So
Yeah.
that was basically my first deal from going in. Like I said, I don't recommend it because it was a full gut rehab. But the reason I did it because it was a value add project. I like to look for properties where I can add value and then build that equity instantly.
That's good. Yep. And everybody's like motivation to going into things is different, right? Like that's cool that like you're able to kind of add value to that. What was like the timeline on like the construction to kind of like get it to like functional level out of
Yeah,
curiosity?
yeah. The timeline was, so my original plan was 6 to 9 months, but when I got into the deal, we found out that the foundation needed underpinning. The house is basically like the foundation was one part of the foundation was leaning, one foundation was like this. So I had to get the house underpinned to correct the foundation. And
Oof.
going in, I didn't account for that number. So that was crazy. That was a crazy cost off the rip. So this is why I don't recommend going into a full gut in your first deals. You don't know what you don't know. So
Right,
it
right.
was a crazy cost. I had to get permits, get the city to approve the foundation, and then correct the foundation. But Went through all that. The rehab wasn't too bad. Like I said, it was a new duplex in Northeast Philly, and this was back in 2018. So construction was actually a lot cheaper.
Yeah,
So all in, the foundational work uh, pushed the budget a lot higher than I thought. By the end of the day, because we improved the house so much, the value that we gained from the equity, we were able to just pull the money out when we refinanced. So yeah,
that's good, man. That's good. So it all turned out well in the long run. And you know what though? Like, even though that was a crazy approach, it probably taught you a lot in that
yeah,
process going forward into other deals going forward. Going
yeah,
forward.
yeah, yeah. Every deal is a new lesson learned. So yeah, that first one there taught me a lot. Definitely definitely hone in your scope of work before going in and know exactly what's going on with the property before jumping in.
Yeah, it put you in the trenches early. You had to like, you had to learn quick. Like,
Yeah,
you know
yeah, yeah.
what? You know what though? That's So like, financing wise, if I know a lot of people say like for investment properties, it's typically a conventional loan, right? I do know that there's ways to hack that though. I know people that have done FHA, but they forward mail there or they live in the, you know what I mean? They live in one portion like that, right? Like they want on like a split of like a duplex, like people will find ways around it. But is it typically like for an investment property, like typically a conventional loan for like a down payment or a conventional down payment, like 20%?
Yeah, so for investment property, you guys should use FHA. As
Okay.
long as the home is functioning, it has a roof, functioning electric, functioning plumbing, and you can live, it's livable, you can use FHA and only have to put 3.5% down on an investment property. So that's what
Okay.
most of my clients do. Like they do FHA, 3.5% down. If you're buying a property that you're not gonna live in, that's when conventional comes into play, and you got to put more down on the investment property. But like
Yeah.
Steve said, some people, they hack the system, do FHA, but they don't really live there. Well, I don't co-sign on it, but hey, some people do that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but I recommend doing the FHA route. You have to bring less to the table, and you can get your first investment. You can get up to a fourplex with an FHA loan. That's crazy.
That is crazy. That is crazy. And then have three other units. You're running out.
Three
Like,
other
yep.
units, yeah. Yeah, if you could
Yep.
find a fourplex, that's FHA standard, and you can get a fourplex with an FHA loan.
Under an FHA, is there like a certain time limit that you got to live in the property? Like, say you decide to like move, but you still want to rent the property out to keep, but you're already locked into an FHA. Is there like a certain time limit you got to live in the property, like a year or something like that, before you
Yeah,
can? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's a year. So
Okay.
by government laws, you got to live in there for a year, and then you
Okay.
can move. Mhm.
That's what I thought. I'm just asking for people. That's why I want to get the information, for people. But yeah, that's why, and that's why that's why you talk to people who have done it, right? Because people look online, they're just going to see conventional. But if you're going to live in the property, see, you can FHA it. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
yeah.
there's ways around that. But
That's what we
yeah, I
call
know
house
people.
hacking. House
Yep.
hacking.
Exactly. And I know
Hmm.
people again, like I said, I know you don't co-sign like they forward the mail or do certain things. You got to watch too, like who your neighbors are or where you're living, because people can snitch. Like I know I had a buddy who was in with his family, and they were doing a mountain home, like it's a vacation home, and they were in a gated community up near Lake Harmony, and they all went in on investment property, but they FHA'd it, and they were just forwarding mail there. And yeah, people in the community made a fuss because they knew that people were coming in and out. Like it was different people that were renting. They would just come up and clean it. And they were doing it as like an Airbnb. And like they complained because I guess it was like an HOA. And like they complained about it. And
Hmm.
like they wound up selling the property because it was like they were making us so much of a hassle. But see, that's the thing too. Like you gotta do your homework, understand where you're at too. Like I know people completely unrelated to this too, but it is a little bit related because it's investment property. But my buddy Ray was on this podcast a couple months ago, and he lives in Orlando. He's in real estate, and he said people will buy a property and they'll be like, Ray, like I wanted to Airbnb this property. They're in an HOA. He's like, yeah, they got restrictions. Like you can't
Hmm.
just now you already bought the property. Like those are questions you need to ask up front. Like you're in an HOA. Your HOA may restrict that. Like
Hmm.
you can't use
Yes.
the property for that.
Yeah. And HOA, for everybody who don't know, is a homeowner association.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
they set the rules for all the homes in the association.
Yep.
So and they usually pay like a monthly fee for that association because they provide you benefits like snow cleaning, trash
Yep.
removal. Sometimes they got amenities or things like that.
Yeah. And an HOA is always going to keep it's basically going to keep your neighborhood. It's going to be upkeep in your neighborhood. You're not going
Yeah,
to like see any type of rundown properties. Everything is going to look nice and clean cut
nice.
because you're living
Yeah,
in an HOA. Yeah.
right.
Um,
When it
but
comes to drawback, because they set rules and they usually don't like Airbnb in their HOA. So,
yeah, and you know what? It's because they don't know who's coming in and out of that
right.
Airbnb. You don't know they don't know who you're renting to. So you got to do your homework. Not all HOAs are going to restrict it, but you do need to understand your rules and your regulations when you're going about that, because he was like, yeah, that's a big thing in Orlando. People want to buy out property and just rent it out. And it's like, yeah, that's great and all, but if you're in a strict HOA, you're probably not going to allow it. So you got to understand
Mhm.
that.
So this is why you do the work up front. You do your research and do all the work up front before going into the deal. So if you know the
Yep.
property you're trying to buy is a HOA, learn the HOA rules. What can you do? What can't you do?
Yep.
Before you jump in the deal and you put in you tying all your money into that project.
Right. Put the time in to do the research. Like, don't rush it. Put the time in, especially like that should be with any deal. Realistically, it doesn't matter how much expertise, but especially your first deal. Like, you ain't got no experience on it. Do your research. Take your
Mm,
time. Make sure you're ready to take that lead. Make sure you know what you're getting into when you go, because a property is a big investment.
yes, sir.
It is a
Yes,
big
sir.
investment. Outside of financing or anything like that, is there anything else? I guess when it comes to, I guess, you know what? I'll ask this one. Credit score. I know credit score, just for getting a home in general as a primary residence is you have to, you want to make sure your credit score is good no matter what. But is there like a higher credit score like that's required for like rental properties or anything like that? I like when it comes to that, is there like an expectation of a certain like credit score?
No, so when it comes to credit score, that really is tied to your interest rate,
Okay.
and getting approval from the lender in general. But if you're buying a triplex, duplex, single family, quadplex, your credit score doesn't affect what you buy. Like what can you buy? It just affects your interest rate, which obviously in downstream affects what you can buy. But it really just focuses on your interest rate and your approval, like, period. So credit score is very important. Like you got over a 700, that's a great score. You'll get a better rate. You'll get, let's say if the average is 6, you'll get a 5.5, 5.4. You got a horrible credit score, you get a 6.3, 6.4. And
Yep.
that difference, the 6.3 and the 5.5, that can be thousands of dollars over 30 years.
Yep.
Thousands. Like you can run
Exactly.
the scenarios and see what you'll pay in interest over the 30 years with the two rates and look at the difference. It'll be thousands of dollars. So
Yeah.
the better your score, the better for you, for sure.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, tied to interest rates for sure. I was gonna say, yeah, there's so many calculators out there. You can just run the numbers and go see what your difference is gonna be on a specific rate. And it's like
Mhm.
just that little bit can cost
Adds
you,
up.
can save you or cost you a lot
Hmm.
more in the long game. So that's important. I would say you could probably say on this too, make sure you have some cash reserves too. Don't just sink everything into your first investment property. That's like anything. That's like buying your a primary residence too. You want to make sure you got money left over. God forbid anything goes wrong in the investment property, right? Like, you need to repair something or fix something. You want to make sure that you have money,
For
cash
sure.
reserves on hand.
For sure. That is a must. It's not
Yep.
if something's gonna go wrong, it's
It's going to.
when. It's when it's
Exactly.
gonna go wrong. So remember, you own an asset, and the asset obviously it has mechanicals running through it, and over time things wear the roof, plumbing, electric. Something's gonna break
Yep.
over time. Even when you buy a brand new duplex, it's great, but a couple years, something may happen. You gotta
Yep.
have cash reserves, and that's
Yep.
the downfall of property ownership. You're responsible for the maintenance of the property.
Yep.
That's
We said
that's
we said that when it came to buying versus renting, there's pros and cons to both sides of it. If you rent an apartment, you're not responsible for the things that go wrong inside that apartment, right? They have a landlord, they have a property management company that handles a lot of that stuff. It's like, but when you're a homeowner, yeah, the plus side is you're building equity. It's an asset. You're not paying rent to a landlord or to an agency, but the downside is when things go, you're responsible.
yes. Just
So,
like your car. When things
yep.
mess up, you responsible for it.
Yep. Whereas if you're in a lease, right? If you're in a lease, a lot of times, depending on what
You
the
bring it to
repairs
the
are,
mechanic.
yeah, you take
Yeah.
it to the mechanic, they take care of it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
man.
So it's a good analogy to be able to compare it that way. But yeah, I know me and you had talked before. It's like, yeah, when a lot of people get their first investment property, they'll be spending the profit that they're making. They may be living on one side. It's like, yeah, you don't want to do all that because you want to have it. You want to put money aside from that. I would literally just take my profit and just be, especially my first property, just be putting it back into the business.
Hmm.
Literally, you know what
Yeah,
I
real
mean?
estate, it's not a get rich quick game. It's
No.
it's more of a wealth building accumulation over time.
Yep.
You think you're gonna get rich off your first duplex? Good luck. Some people's first duplex deal, they only cash flow about $200 to $300 a month. That's
Yeah.
not really much.
No.
You do the deal right, you can cash flow over 1,000, but most people at cash flow 300 to 400 a month.
Right.
So it's not a get rich quick game. It's definitely something you can get really rich in it. 85% of millionaires own real estate, so I
Yeah.
highly recommend it. But you're not gonna get rich off one deal, two deals. Like it's
Right.
definitely something over time that you accumulate and get expertise at.
Exactly. Exactly. It's a long game, man. Like it's like I even say like in stocks too with like index funds and stuff, right? A lot of it is just like it's a long game. You're waiting, but you'd be a millionaire by the time you retire, but it's a long game. It's like um when people think invest and they think trading, it's like, yeah, well, trading is not for everybody. You got to know what you're doing, and it takes a lot. You need to really know what you're doing. Like depending on the type of trading you're trying to do. It's like even that, it's not like most of these traders, it's still a long game. Like they're trading every day and they're like doing different things. It's like, are there outliers where you could get rich? Yeah, like by pure chance and probability. It's like, yeah, sure. But it's like that's not the rule. That's the exception. That's a chance. That's not, there's no guarantee in that. It takes time. It takes time.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
Unless you have a lot of capital starting
right.
up front, you can get like the more capital you can inject into it, the faster you can get rich. But
Yeah.
most people in this game, starting off slow. So it's definitely not a get rich. If you want to get rich quick, I would recommend the tech business because you can get rich quick on that. But even the millionaires that are in tech business or other industries, they always park their money in the real estate because it's a valuable commodity. It's not going anywhere. We always need places to live,
Right.
and it always goes up in value. So it's a great place to
Yep.
park your money. Even if you have a business in another industry, you can park your money in real estate, and that's what most millionaires.
Yeah. Literally, people that are making money off businesses, even like a lot of these big time podcasters, they have real estate like behind the podcast. Like these guys who are like, I'm talking multi-million subscribers, like podcasts, like they got money invested in real estate in the back end. Like, yeah, real estate is like you said, 85% of millionaires own real estate. Like, there's a reason for that. Like, real estate's always it's a safe commodity, right? It's there, like you said. Properties are never going anywhere.
Yeah,
You need a roof over your head. You need a place to
yeah,
live.
yeah.
Like,
Everybody needs a place to live. I put
right.
my rental on the market. I'm getting flooded to get
Yeah.
people to live there.
Yeah.
There's always demand for it. It's not gonna drop like if you're selling like you know Pokemon cards. Let's say one day everybody started to hate
Right.
Pokemon and your
There's no
business
market for
tanked.
it anymore.
Yeah, there's no market for it tanks, but there will always be a market for real estate. So it's
Always.
definitely more of a safer investment, but because it's a safer investment, it's a little bit slower and it's capital intensive. But there's ways
Right.
around it. There's ways around it.
Right. It's not going to be as volatile. Like people always want to go for the volatile, like cryptocurrencies or something, things that, oh, it's the new hot coin that's out and this and the third. It's like, yeah, until it don't got any value and then you lose everything. You sink
Hmm.
everything into it. It's a huge risk,
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, what was it when Dogecoin was around? Everybody was trying to sink their money into Doge, or like take it to the moon. Dogecoin's gonna go up to $1.
Dogecoin.
Like everyone look at Petty,
I
take it
still
to the
have
moon.
Dogecoin actually. I still have it. It's still
Yeah.
at the bottom. I'm like, oh my god.
It just sits there.
I'm
The
waiting for it to
crypto-
go up. But
Man, it's just sitting there. Yeah, I did it one point. I got rid of all mine. I think right now I literally just have small portions, Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's it. Like I just kept it. I got rid of any of the other like little coins I had. Like, but man, it's like, yeah, crypto is just volatile. Like I know people that will be so invested in crypto that like they're looking at like they're looking at their computer screens of their phones like all day, every day, like trying to trade like crypto and do all this stuff. It's like, yeah, but I'm like, you could also lose everything too. You could be gambling your money away too. You got to be real careful with that. Like, yeah, I would always hear people, I knew people that lost a lot of money in crypto too. They would always have some other new, oh, this is the new thing. This is the new thing. It's like a lot of finance, like when you're going to make money, like it just is, it's a long game. There's nobody saying that you can't get rich quick, but you really just, you need to do your homework and do your, don't just get, I think there's a difference between taking calculated risk and gambling your money. You got to be really careful.
yeah, and with those avenues, those channels like Bitcoin, all those coins, it's always like there's like the 2% that do very well and gets rich, and then like the 98% that suffers. But all we see is the 2% on social media that's doing very well. So everybody's trying to get into it.
Yeah.
So but it's really heavily weighted towards most people losing and only a small percentage winning in
Yeah.
these channels.
And a lot of it goes to that too. Like you said, with real estate, if you have a lot of capital, like at your disposal where you can buy like a full Bitcoin, other things, it's like, yeah, you might be able to make, but if you're just buying a small percentages of it, like, it's like, yeah, you're not like, and even that, like Bitcoin, it like, right. Like the time to get in was when it first came around, right? All those years ago, back when I was in high school, like, the people who got in then, like, yeah, like took off, but it's like, you know what I mean? Nobody knew. I mean, maybe some people did, but majority of people did not know it was going to take off like that. You know what I mean? It's the early adopters. That's what they call it. Like the early adopters, people who adopted it early, made a ton of money on it.
I didn't understand Bitcoin, so I don't invest in things I don't understand. So I didn't understand Bitcoin. People were telling me about it. I had colleagues showing me all this, but I didn't understand it to a T. So I'm like, I'm not gonna invest in it. And I know some people that are doing real well off it. I'm not saying you can't make money off of it. It's just me personally, I don't invest in anything I don't understand. So that's why I didn't put much money into it.
That's a smart way to look at it, to be honest, man. You don't invest in things just because it's trendy, right? Just because it's trendy. You want to make sure that you understand it. Exactly. Yeah. That's important. It's like, yeah, even real estate investing, like if you don't have like the cash reserves or the capital, it might just be not the right time for you to invest. Like, don't just do it because other people are doing it on the internet or doing it on Instagram and Facebook telling you to invest in a property. It's like, do it when you make sure you're not like spending your whole bank, right? Like just completely emptying all your reserves to go into it. Like, be smart about it.
And one thing that my company does is we offer people to get into real estate without having to do the real estate. So we basically, all you got to do is invest your capital, and it's going to be put into real estate, and then you get returns on your money via real estate, but through us. So that's what we did on a bunch of our projects. We have investors jumping in these projects, and then they get returns on the real estate. And obviously, we take our cut, and they get their cut. So you invest in real estate without having to do the work, and you just leverage our expertise. So that's another way to get into, real estate via another company through investments.
Exactly. I love that you brought that point up. I was actually just talking to my pops about that the other day. Yeah, no, like it's that's a way that you can make money without actually having to do any of the stressful legwork of like, managing a property or like, tending to a tenant or anything like that. You just put your capital up, and it's like, and that works well with companies that have proven track records, right? You're going to trust that as you prove your trip, build a proven track record and an honest reputation. Like, people can see that and they're like, hey, I would want to park my money here because I know these guys are going to make me money.
Right.
No.
Right. So that's another channel if you don't want to do it yourself and learn, go through the process of you know, having to do a real estate deal yourself. That's another
Exactly.
game. While the
Exactly.
returns won't be as big if you do it yourself, it's something. You're putting in your money to work via another channel without having to do all the work. So it's more passive.
Right.
So yeah, I had buddies from college invest in a couple of our projects, and they seen a healthy return on their investment. So
Yeah. It's money that you were like literally just had sitting in your account, and hey, it's extra money that like it's just gonna make you money, right? Like,
hmm
so that's smart. Mike had actually commented too. He said best thing to do is buy a Section 8 houses, flip them, and fix them. What's your thoughts on that? On
honestly, if the margins are there, hey, do it. When it comes to fix and flip, it's all about the numbers and the margins, man. So Section 8 houses, if the margin is there, they usually come cheap. And then if the ARV and the margins are there, hey, by all means,
Yep,
go ahead and do it.
just doing the legwork up front, making sure you
But
understand. Yeah,
now I just want to emphasize fix and flip is not wealth building, it's more income. You want some quick income, but it's not wealth building because you're selling the property. Then you gotta pay taxes when you sell the property.
yep,
So if you just want a chunk of income, yeah, for sure, fix and flip. If you want to build wealth, like we are talking about, you want to invest and hold.
yep, exactly. Because that's when you can get a long term tenant. You get people in the building. They're going. It's just people. Even if you don't have a long term tenant, you got like just tenants coming. Coming for a year, leaving. It's like you always have a tenant. So you're building income each month. Whereas like like with a fix and flip, like Rob's saying, you're selling the property, so you're getting an exit price, but
hmm
you're paying taxes on that exit price. But say you make 30,000, 40,000, like it's a flat rate, but hey, like it's not something you're holding over time. Like whereas like with an investment property, you can make that and then some, like over the time as you hold it.
Right. So what
So
we do both. We do fix and flip, and we do um, investment and holds. So hey, fix and flip definitely is. I recommend it. You can make 100,000, 150. I've seen people make 200,000 on a deal. So it's a big chunk of cash you get at the end, and then you can use that money to invest, right?
put,
Or you can
put
go
it
on vacation, whatever you want to do with it.
put it into the business. Yep. Yep. And hey, if you know how to do, if you actually are a contractor and know how to do the work too, like it'll save you even more. If you actually are a contractor, you know what you're doing with that too, where you don't even have to like, you have a team where you're not even, fully outsourcing all the contracting work. But the most people I know that, do fix and flips, a lot of them, they bring in contractors and hire GCs, general contractors to come in and do a lot of the
hmm
work.
Yep.
Right. So it's like, and then is there like so with fix and flip, is there like a timeline when you need to have the property fixed, like I guess like flipped by, like to make a certain profit, or is there like usually timelines on that?
Yeah. I mean, depends what your financing is. Depends on your situation. You
Right.
can buy the property, hold it, and be working on it forever. It really
Right, right.
depends. But if you're using financing, which I recommend, there's usually interest that comes with financing,
True.
obviously. And the longer you hold it, the more interest you pay.
Yeah.
Your holding costs, gas, electric, the more. So the faster you can get in and get out, the better. Usual
Yep.
timeline for fixing flips, I would say 3 to 6 months.
Right.
Three is amazing. You can flip a house in 3 months. That's amazing. But then I would say 3 to 6 months is. You go over
Okay.
6 months, it's a little dragging or something. You gotta be a little quicker. But I would say
Right.
3 to 6 months is a good timeline if you
Right.
fix and flip a
Right.
house.
Do you have any fix and flips right now that you're working on?
Yes,
Got quite a few.
yes,
Right?
it's gonna
I
be
see you on Instagram.
cold. Yeah, it's gonna
See
be
you on Insta.
cold. Look out for it. It's a mansion in East Oak Lane, 5 bedroom, 5 bath, movie theater in the basement, jacuzzi in every bathroom. Gonna be cold. Best product to date. Look out for it.
Man, I've been seeing the progress, man. It's coming along, man. Because I know
Yeah,
you've had your guys working on it for a little bit now, man. Like you guys
yes,
are,
sir.
but see, that's a big property. That's a lot
Yeah,
to.
it's
That's a
huge.
lot.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
huge. We're gonna
So
set the market with this one. Look out for it.
East Oak Lane, guys. Yeah. Honestly, man. Yeah. Like it's like I feel like somebody's gonna that's gonna be it's gonna be a hot market for it, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Man,
Yeah,
that's what's up, man. Yeah, I always see on your Instagram, man. You got some type of project going on that you're working on.
yeah,
Got your
yeah,
guys working
man.
on.
For sure, for sure.
working on the weekends too. It's like businesses don't take the days off, man. We got
Business don't sleep,
we
man.
ain't sleeping on the
They
weekends.
don't sleep.
It ain't Monday through
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah, they don't sleep, man. So,
And that's
yeah,
that's why you need to be in a business that like you're actually like passionate about, because guess what? It's
right.
like you don't look at that as a chore. You don't look at it as a chore like, shit, like it's freaking Saturday and I gotta do this. It's like, nah, you like
Facts.
doing that shit. Yeah.
Right. It's a part of you, right? You enjoy it. So if you don't
Yeah.
enjoy it, yeah, you're gonna
You're not
start
in the right
hating it. Yeah,
Yeah, you're not in the
because
right business then. It's like, yeah, you're not it's not if it's not something you actually have some type of passion behind, it's like, yeah, that's not gonna last long term. You're gonna get really annoyed. It's gonna be a chore. It's just gonna be, yeah. It's like my goal in life, man, is like I want to get to a point where like I'm not looking forward to like, oh, thank God Friday's here. You want to feel like every day is like your Friday, man. Like it's
mhm,
like every day is like a great day to like, oh, it's another day to make some money. It's another day to live my life. You don't want to have to wait like, oh, I'm just working this job for. I'm not saying anything on 9 to 5. Some people work a 9 to 5 their whole life, and guess what? They're happy. They go to work and they're genuinely like they really love what they do, and it's like they're not. It's not even like that. But for the majority of people, I feel like it's like a thank God it's Friday. But like
mhm.
we spent 40 years of our life talking like
Right,
that. It's
right,
like,
right. Yeah.
eh,
I mean, if you were passionate about what you do and you enjoy it, it don't really feel like work. And if you just, I get it. People got to do what you got to do to survive. I
yeah,
understand, but I would say just have a plan to get to a point where, like you said, Friday, you're not waiting for Fridays. Just think
yeah,
about it. If you're just working 5 days and like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, only days you enjoy, that's only 3 days out of 7 that you're really
yeah,
enjoying. So it's like, and you just add it up over your whole life. You only got to enjoy 3 days out all your weeks. So
yeah.
like I said, I get it. You gotta do what you gotta do to survive. I understand, but like we were saying, have a plan to get to a point where you do enjoy every day.
Exactly. I always say that, man. I don't want to be living my life like I'm just waiting until Friday. Like I can't wait for Friday. I don't want to live a life like that, man. And to people who do, like Rob said, everybody is situation is different. So it's like, yeah, people have to do what they have to do to survive, but try to develop a plan too, right? Like you know
Hmm.
what I mean? Nobody says in this year you need to have that plan, but it's like just over time, even if it's just finding a way to make a little extra income, put a little something aside so you can build a little something for yourself on the side, just finding ways. And I know it's not easy, and I'm not trying to put myself in anybody else's shoes because everybody has tighter situations and it's tough. You know what I mean? But that's why I say keep God at the center of your life too. You know what I mean? Like honestly, like just keep him at the center and just, you know, don't get caught up in a lot of the distractions that we see today. I feel like that's why a lot of people are drowning, is because of all the distraction we see in the world today. Everybody wants that short-term gratification, right? Those little things you purchase on a daily basis too when it comes to money, all that stuff adds up. You know what I mean? You
Hmm.
could be in a horrible financial situation, but some of it could be the daily things you're spending money on. And a lot of it might not be necessities. Some of it might be, but a lot of it might not be. It's like,
Hmm.
you know, we've talked about, putting budgets together. A lot of it comes down to is you either need to make more money or you need to budget accordingly and cut things out, right? So
Right. And us human beings, we get happy when we're making progress in life,
yeah,
and we don't feel stuck. So even if you work in a dead end job, you hate it. But if you have a plan to get to a place where you want to be, and you notice you're making progress, you're gonna wake up every day with a little bit more pep. Pep in your step.
yep,
You're gonna go to your job, do what you gotta do, but you're progressing to where you want to be. I'm telling you that will help. So as long as the plan is there and you progressing towards it, it's gonna help your motivation. Help you enjoy life better.
that is so true, man. Yeah, no, because I felt that before too. Like that's where you feel where I felt, to be honest, felt stuck. And then I'm like, but when you
Yeah, I'm
have a
in there
plan, and yeah, you have a plan, but you're taking like little actions each
every
day
day. Hmm.
towards that plan, you're gonna wake up a little bit more motivated to like, hey, like you wake up with like a sense of purpose. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So
And it's your race. Don't look to the side. Don't look to the other side. Focus on your lane and run your race, man. That's a problem nowadays. Social media, we compare too much, and people are all always posting their highlights, and we're comparing our lives to their lives. Oh, they living the life. I'm this, that. Nah, the energy you're spending looking to the left and right is energy lost, not running forward. So I would say just focus on your lane and keep it. I mean, you can use left and right to motivate you, of course, nothing wrong with that. but you want to stay in your lane and focus on where you're going. I think that's
Yep.
the key.
And you need to understand yourself too, self-awareness, understand how you look at social media, because if you utilize it as motivation and fuel, that's a good thing. But if you utilize it as comparison and you put yourself in a negative headspace, there's not a good thing. And there's nothing you accomplish by being in a negative headspace. There's just nothing that gets accomplished by negatively comparing yourself compared to where somebody else is. As like Rob said, it's a highlight reel. So somebody could put all their highlights and they could genuinely not be happy. You might have less than them, but you're making progress towards certain goals and you could be genuinely happier. But then you see that and it ruins your whole day. It's like it
Right.
ruins everything you were happy about. So it's like, don't even let that happen.
Right. I know I've been there, man. I comparing myself to this person, that person on social media, and I always like try to bring myself in, like, stop. I'm using energy that I could be using to progress in where I want to go. And the
Yep.
funny thing is, where you want to go in life is probably not even where that person wants to go. That person wants to go here. You want to go here. So your
Right.
happiness is different. Your success is different than their version of success. So there's no
Yep.
reason to compare their success to your success.
Exactly. Success looks different for everybody. You know, it's not always money too. Some people, it's not
Some
just
people, yeah, it's other things. Yeah.
yeah, it's like they'd rather have, all that time, in something else, like, hey, like, their health or their family or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, some people want a balance. They want the financial security. They want their health. They want to spend time with their family. Like, it's
Mhm.
all about like what brings you happiness and like what brings you joy. And it's like, yeah, don't waste it on negative energy comparing yourself to other people. It's easier said than done, but I do
Yeah, it's human
believe,
nature. It's human
yeah,
nature.
yeah, exactly. But what I will say is, well, they always say comparison is the thief of joy. But
Yeah.
um, if you're not running a business like on social media and you can just detox for a little bit and you understand that like you're self-aware enough to understand that you do go there negatively, sometimes a detox is good. It takes you away from, it allows you to kind of hone in on your goals and you're not bombarded with all the noise and all the distraction. Believe me, I know a detox for some people, it's easier said than done. Everybody's wired with social media nowadays. The first thing we do when we get up, a lot of people is they check their phone, they scroll on social media. It's hard to rewire your brain. I understand. But just small steps, you know what I mean? Maybe the screen time, locking your screen for certain times, right? Like where you can't access social media apps. There's a lot of hacks out there that you can do, but you have to have a healthy foundation because if you're in a negative headspace, it's gonna be hard for you to go towards your goals because you know what I mean? Your foundation isn't necessarily healthy.
Right. Right. And then you're not running in your lane. You're looking to the side. You stop moving. Your energy's low. You want to keep running your race. Whatever your race in life is, wherever the God has for you, you run your race and you stay focused on your race. That's what we
Yep,
always say.
exactly. Figure out what makes you happy, what you're passionate about, because what you're happy and passionate about isn't going to be what the next person is happy and passionate about. It's about, that's why I say too, with real estate, it's like, don't just do it because other people are doing it. Yeah, it could be a great way to make some money, but understand what, like we said, your risk tolerance, right? Different types of
Mhm.
things, what what does real estate investing look like to you? Because hey, some people might want to do a fix and flip, make some quick money. It's like some people might want to hold on to a property with a tenant, is different for everybody. But don't just do it because somebody else has a tenant. But I don't really see myself long term having a tenant. Like it's like, well, then do what you want to do. Don't just do it because someone else is doing it.
Mhm.
So um, yeah, it's about being self-aware and really understanding yourself too. You know, that's important.
But in the day, you have to live somewhere, and I'll always advocate for home ownership. Always. So you gotta live somewhere. So I always
Exactly.
advocate for that.
Exactly. This should be the goal for a lot of people, right? Some people spend their whole life renting, some people do. But you put a lot of money into someone else's pockets, like for all that time. You know what I mean? Like we said, there's pros and cons. Everybody has to start somewhere. But I agree with you that I think a goal should be home ownership.
Hmm. For
Just own
sure.
something for you too, especially if you have kids, right? Like you want to be able to have something. You know what I mean?
Hmm. You
I think
can't
that's
pass your landlord's house down to your kids. Just letting you know that. You're not gonna
right,
let
right.
them. I know I
They ain't
won't.
gonna. Yeah. Candace had commented, she said, go blind. I'm not sure what she was responding to there. Let me check the other Facebook. Make sure. That's for the views, guys. Seeing some good views coming in. Yeah, you ain't passing your tenant's property down. I did see some people are renting apartments and then they're Airbnb another of the landlord's apartments, and like they said the thing is it brings I guess consistent income into the I don't know how that I don't know how that
Yeah,
works,
they're,
but I
s-
know some
they're, s-
people do it.
they're subleasing the landlord's unit. Basically,
Right,
they rent it, and then instead of living in it, they lease it out by Airbnb in it, and they make
right,
money off the landlord's unit. That's smart because you don't
right,
pay. You're not owning it. You don't pay for it, but yet you leasing it, and making money. But you got to
right.
get approval from the landlord. You can get
Of course,
deep
of
trouble
course.
for that.
Of
Yeah,
course, if they can't, yeah, of course, if you're just Airbnb or subleasing it and you don't have
yeah,
approval, that could be really,
yeah.
really bad.
Some landlords don't care. They just like, all right, just pay me my money. I don't care. Personally, we don't allow that because Airbnb it could damage a unit. So, but yeah,
Yep, yep, that's true too. Yeah, there's risk that comes with it. You know what I mean? You don't know how strictly they're vetting the people who they're bringing in. You know what I mean? To that
hmm
Airbnb. You know, if you have people like I'll end one of these. So if you have people that like say you have like a tenant, do you credit check? There's people I know that don't credit check. I would credit check.
yeah, for sure. Credit check, everything, background check, criminal check,
Of course.
employment verification, income verification. Do
Yeah.
all that. Remember, you put your money into this property, this unit. You just gonna let anybody live in it? You just gonna let anybody in there?
It's
There's
funny.
only
I was at the gym the other morning, and some guy, you know, I was talking to some guy, and then this other guy who I didn't know, he's talking to him too, and the guy I guess had a rental property. He's like, "How'd you make out on the unit or whatever?" He's like, "Oh, good. You know, I'm getting this amount of rent, like 1,700, 1,800," and he like it's some woman like he just rented to, and he's like, "Oh, did you credit check her?" He's like, "Nah, she works for the postal service stuff." He's like, "Do you have like He's like, "Do you have like a background check?" He didn't run like anything on her, and he's just like, you know, she sent me like pay stubs for her. He's like, he's like, you don't think that there could be like photocopy pay stubs or anything? And he's like, well, if she burnt me, she burnt me. He's like, I'll say that she did a good job of covering up. Like, damn.
damn, dude. It's a big
Oh
risk.
man, yeah, it's a big risk. I don't know if I would do that, man. I'm like, I might as well. What's the harm in covering all? You know what I mean?
Cover your
Covering all
bases.
areas, man. I'm gonna
Do the
cover my
work up
ass, man.
front. Do the work up front. It applies to almost everything in life. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, man, I would cover my ass, man. There's no way. There's no
Uh,
way. Because it's like there are people that could definitely pull a fast one on you. You know, I would want to see proof of income, of course, like be able to see that they can afford it. Like, because
for sure.
anybody could like come along and put first and last up. You know,
But they don't have nothing coming
free
in, and then
deposit. Yeah,
boom. An eviction process can be expensive, so you wanna do all the work up front to prevent that. It
yeah.
can
I say,
happen, but you
yeah.
gotta go through.
I say look at it like how a bank looks at it, right? A bank, when they give you a loan for a home, right, for a mortgage, they want to see proof of income. They want to see, proof of income that you can pay for the property. You have $100,000 liquid, but if you don't make enough to cover the, long term over 30 years, right? Like they're not going to trust that. Say you buy a $600,000 home, you have $100,000 to your disposal, but you're making $50,000 a year. Yeah, like a $600,000 home,
Yeah,
like
yeah, they
and
don't care
you're
about
the
your
only income.
savings. Yeah, they're looking at your income. Like what's coming
Yeah,
in recurringly. So,
because even though you might say, "Oh, I'm gonna be making six figures in like a couple of years," well, there's no guarantee of that. You know what I mean? You're just
yeah,
going off of your oral word, like your word of saying that. It's like, yeah, they need proof. So I would run it like how a bank does. You know what I mean? Banks gonna credit, they're gonna, all that stuff. They do all that legwork up front. It's like you got to do the same thing. Protect your
yeah,
business.
yes, sir.
Protect
Yes,
your
sir.
investment. So. Man, I think that was informative, man. I wanted to kind of focus on the investment side of it a lot because we did like the pros and cons and a lot in other episodes and stuff, man. And I know this is something a lot of people are interested in, man. So I'm like, hey, I might as well talk to somebody who is an investor himself, someone who's in the industry, has been in it for a while now. So Man, appreciate you giving your expertise, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was great talk. Always love these talks. You guys have any questions, you can hit me up, hit Steve up. We can chop up real estate. I'm always learning even more. So it's such a expansive industry and so much to learn.
Yeah.
We getting better every day. So
Exactly. And guys, like I said, I would definitely vouch for Rob, man. He's reputable. He's a good guy. You know what I mean? He knows what he's doing. He's got the expertise. So, yeah, even if you got questions, even if you're not making a leap right this moment, like definitely reach out. Like it's always good to reach out to somebody who's in the industry and knows what they're doing because they're the ones that can answer your questions for you. Yeah, you can research things online, but I always say like what's better than going to the source, going to the people who are dealing with this on the daily, you know?
yeah, for sure. For sure.
Important, man. It's important. Well, brother, I appreciate you. I think it's a good spot to wrap up the pros and cons stuff. Guys, there's previous episodes. You just got to scroll through. I don't have the exact episode number, but we talked all about that on there. I think this was good. We covered the market at the beginning, and we kind of went into the investment stuff. I think it's going to be really informative to a lot of people as they come across this episode. But my brother, I appreciate you, man. I was gonna maybe do an Eagles episode in 2 weeks. I was hoping they were gonna get to the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, we saw. That didn't
Yeah.
happen. That didn't happen. So.
Yeah. Shaking my head.
Man, Niners got trounced though. Last week.
They got whooped.
It's more embarrassing for us, right? Like, how do we get beat by that team? Like, crazy. Well, hopefully they make a good move at OC, man. I know a lot of people are coming off the board now, so hopefully the Eagles can make a good move at the offensive coordinator position. We'll see.
We'll see, man. I'm excited. We'll get somebody better than that. So
better than Patullo. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, my brother. Well, have a good night, man. A good weekend. Definitely stay safe, man. I heard the snowstorm's gonna be crazy. I don't know. It's like hit or miss. We'll see what happens. But yeah, man. Have a great night, bro. Appreciate you coming on.
All right. Thank you, everybody. It's great. Thanks, Steve. Yeah. Everybody stay safe this weekend. All right.
Yep.
Take care.
Take care, guys. Peace.